In this video, we're going to explore the different functionality of the hole command inside of Fusion. So, let's take a look. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the hole command in the Create menu. So about halfway down, you'll see the hole command or the H shortcut key. And this brings up a menu with quite a few options. So the first one is the placement at point or single hole, or from sketch for multiple holes. I'm just going to go ahead and click somewhere on this top face, and you'll see it creates a quick preview. Now, one of the first tips I want to talk about is this blue dot. If I click and drag on that blue dot, you'll see some white dots kind of appear on the top face. And these are the center of the radiuses on the corner of this box. And if I get near one of these, you'll see it'll kind of snap to it, so it just kind of jumps to that dot. There's also one right in the middle, so it also finds the center of the face. So if I just get near that, it's going to snap to the center of that face. So I use that option a lot. You also notice we have this reference, and what this allows you to do is to reference other edges. So for example, I can click on this edge here and say I want to be 2 inches from that edge, and then I can click on this edge here and say I want to be 1 inch from that edge. And it's like we just created a couple dimensions and told where that hole needs to be located in reference to that side edge and this front edge. Now I like to grab these white dots here, so I'm just going to drag that one there. The next option is the extents, or the distance, you can see. We also have the ability to say to or all. Right now it's set to distance, and this little preview here kind of tells you how deep the hole is going to be drilled. So if we were to change that to like 0.5, you can see how the preview updates automatically. This one shows the drill angle if we have drill point set to angle. If we change it to flat, you'll notice the preview updates and that option goes away. And then we have this diameter of the hole right here. So for example, if I wanted that to be 0.25, I would just type in 0.25, and you can see how that preview updated. So that was for the extents for distance. If I were to come in here and say all, it's going to drill all the way through, and you can see it got rid of the taper angle option because it's drilling all the way through. Now we have the different hole types and hole tap types. So the first one is the simple hole type, and it's literally like drilling a hole straight through. Then we have counterbore. I'm just going to kind of zoom up on this just to show you what this is. I'm just going to drag these really quick, and you can kind of see how it allows you to specify different size counterbore diameters and depths. Now, I'm going to show you a neat little trick here in a moment where you literally don't have to do this, but this gives you the ability to create your own size if you want to. And then same thing with countersink. It allows you to create a specific sized countersink, and you can specify the diameter. So I'll say 0.5 in this case, and you can see the preview of that. Okay. So here is the tip that I really wanted to show was if you change the hole tap type to clearance, this allows you to specify a standard and a fastener type. So for example, I'm going to change this to ANSI Unified, and then the fastener type, you can see we can do like hex head bolts, hex machine screws, or socket head cap screws. So I'm going to do a socket head cap screw, and I'm going to pick a 1/2 inch, and you can see it automatically figures out what the diameter is supposed to be and what the depth is supposed to be if I were going to use a 1/2 inch socket head cap screw. Let me change that down to 1/4 inch, and now you can see again how that changes automatically. I'm going to go ahead and say OK just to kind of show you how powerful this is. So we just did a 1/4 inch socket head cap screw hole. I'm going to come in here and say insert fastener. I'll expand this open just so we can kind of see it a little bit better. I'll say bolts and screws. I'll do socket head. And let me just pick maybe like this guy here. I'll come over and hover over the hole and click, and you'll notice it automatically figured out that a 1/4 inch socket head cap screw, and you can see it's going to go ahead and place that for me. Let me say OK. And we can see the correct counter bore and the correct depth. So you can see how it's flush there. If I were to do a quick section analysis and slice through here, here's a cool trick if you didn't know this. I start my section analysis, I can click on a cylinder and it's going to snap to the center of that cylinder. So I didn't have to manually drag back and try and figure out where the center was. All I have to do is just click on a cylindrical face like so, and it's going to snap to the center of it. So you can see that it figured out the correct size hole for a 1/4 inch socket head cap screw. Okay, so I'm going to undo that, and let's do the hole command again. Now this time I want to do from sketch or multiple holes. So let's create a sketch on this top face. I'll project, and it's going to project the center of these radiuses for me automatically. So I'll finish my sketch. And now when I use the hole command, I can come in here and say from sketch multiple holes. Again, I'll do the clearance, and I can just click on that location right there. Let me verify that this is, yep, a 1/4 inch socket head cap screw. In fact, let's change this to be a 1/2 inch. That's just to make it different. And I can just keep clicking these different locations, these sketch points, and it's going to create those holes for me automatically. And what's nice about this is if I were to come in and modify my original part, let's just say it's 9 inches like so, I'll say OK. Those holes are always going to stay centered on those radiuses. I'll do the insert fastener again really quick just to show the power behind this. So we'll do the socket head cap screw. Just hover over one of these edges, and you'll notice it's highlighting 4 of them, and that's because it's doing this select similar, and it found the 1/2 inch socket head cap screw, and I'll say OK. And I can also change the length. It figures out the correct length for me, and very, very quickly I was able to add in these fasteners. And just like before, if I were to come in and make a change, let's make that 5 inches, say OK, all of those update accordingly. The other cool thing is if I change this to countersink and then I specify clearance, I'm just going to again click somewhere on the screen there, and I specify clearance. I can pick again either metric or ANSI. You can see the different fastener types, so flathead machine screws or oval head machine screws. So I'll just do one of these flathead machine screws, and let's just pick maybe like a 3/8, and it's going to figure out the correct chamfer for me automatically. I don't have to figure out that diameter. So I really like that option. The next one over is tapped holes. So I went back to the simple hole type and then changed the hole tap type to tapped, and you can see all of the different options you have for tapped holes. So Acme, ANSI, DIN, pipe threads, etc. Then you can come in here and specify the different size. So let's just say 1/2 inch. Then you have the different designations for each of these. So 1/2 inch 12. I could do fine thread if I wanted to. And you'll notice if I zoom up here, there's like this little decal, and if I were to change these, you can kind of see how it updates and shows what the threads would look like. So if I kind of change that there, you can kind of see what that would look like. You'll also notice this modeled tab or this modeled option. I'm going to leave it unchecked and say OK. Now this looks like it's threaded, but in reality it's like a sticker. If I were to 3D print this, this would print as a smooth-sided cylinder, or hole basically. There would be no threads. If I wanted to 3D print this, I would need to come up here and change my threads from cosmetic to modeled. I'll say OK, and now you can see that those are actually machined or modeled threads. And if I were to 3D print this, it would actually, I would be able to screw in a bolt into that hole. And I have the ability to switch that back to cosmetic. And then as I'm creating more holes, it will allow me to specify if I want that to be modeled or not. So I can say that one's modeled and that one's cosmetic. So you have the ability to turn all of them to be modeled, all of them to be cosmetic, or individual. So the last option in the whole command is this taper tapped. And you can see you can do like BSP taper, DIN, NPT, etc. So you can see all the different options in here. And then you can specify the different sizes. Now this does not model the hole as tapered. It only designates the hole as tapered. Just keep that in mind. So you can't like 3D print this and have it tapered. So just remember that. Okay, and then the last reason I like to use the hole command is when creating drawings. So again, I'm going to project my sketch here really quick. Create the hole, and let's just do, I'll do tapped hole. Drag that where I want, and let's do, actually, you know what, I'll do counterbore. Let's do clearance, and I'll pick socket head cap screw. Let's just do 1/4 inch, and I'll just pick these 4 corners here, like so. I'll say OK, and then I'll save this as our block. Now when I create a drawing from this, I'll go ahead and create the projected views, like so. If I do a hole and thread note, and I select on this and place it, you'll notice that it actually designates the hole for me automatically. I don't have to do that. So it found 4 holes, tells me what the diameter of them is and how deep, and then you'll also notice it has a counterbore of 0.44 for the diameter with a depth of 0.25. So that's the other reason I like using the hole command in my designs, so that way they carry over into the drawings. If I had just used a circle in a sketch and machined those through, I would have to have physically typed all this stuff in. So hopefully you learned some tips and tricks using the hole command inside of Fusion. I hope you learned something new and enjoyed that video. If you did, make sure you've hit like and subscribe. That way you'll be notified of upcoming videos. If you'd like to learn more about Fusion, make sure you visit my webpage at cadedllc.com. And as always, have fun learning Fusion.